I wanted to talk today about mental health. The National Health Survey in 2017 estimated that 1 in 5, that's 20%, of Australians reported that they had a mental or behavioural condition during the collection period. That was 2017. So imagine what that percentage may be now during a pandemic. Who am I to be talking to you about mental health? Well, I'm 1 in 5 of those Australians who at some stage in my life has suffered from a mental or behavioural condition. I also have in my immediate family schizophrenia, Tourette's, OCD, ADHD, anxiety, and OCD, if I haven't mentioned that one. Me personally, I went through a life crisis way back in 2008, about 13 years ago, during a marriage breakdown. For me, I had been practicing yoga for 2 years. Before that, my way of coping with stress and anxiety was the good old Aussie way. If you're feeling a bit stressed, have a drink or 2 or 3 or 4 or more. So yoga was great. It taught me ways of relaxing, ways of helping deal with all that mental chatter that sometimes gets a little crazy in our mind. Yogis call it the monkey mind. It wasn't, however, at that stage, early on in my yoga practice, enough to ease that constant chattering that went in my mind after that marriage breakdown and feelings that I couldn't go on without my husband at the time. I did end up in hospital twice, and people say to me, well, I'm told that I ended up in hospital because I tried to end my life. And people ask me, did I try to end my life? Why did I try to end my life? Well, I guess the answer to that is I didn't try to end my life. I tried to ease that irritating busyness in the mind, all that chatter. I just couldn't stop it. And so I used all the yoga tools that I had at the time, which helped a little bit, but there came times where I just felt really down, like I was, up against it all, and I went for that bottle of wine. And when you drink a lot of wine really fast, there's no clarity. So then I did something that I shouldn't have done and ended up in hospital. So I think sometimes, and again, I'm no expert, I can only speak from my personal experience, sometimes we're quick to judge people who may end up in hospital after a supposed attempt at taking their own life. We may say they're selfish. We may say they tried to take their life. I know for me, it was just trying to calm the mind, and the tools that I had at the time, the knowledge I had at the time just wasn't enough. So I have over the years, in learning to manage different behaviours with my own children, with the OCD, ADHD, Tourette's, all that kind of thing, I have a bigger knowledge bank now and life experience. And I eventually, after coming out of hospital, and actually during it, I was in the middle of some full-on yoga workshops, and I decided to do my teacher training to learn more. And here I am a decade later teaching yoga and I guess passing on my knowledge of how to relieve stress and anxiety in a healthier way. I also read lots and lots of books to also help ways to learn to be more resilient and just allow my true self to come through. So a few little tips, I guess, that I've learned along the way that can help relieve some of that monkey mind and set you on a healthier path with healthier habits. So yoga is beneficial, even if it's just the breath work, learning pranayama or breath work. The breath just helps calm us down. We focus on the breath, and once we focus on the breath, we become present. And when we're present, the mind's not wandering off to the past, what I've done wrong, what I missed out on, whatever it might be for you, where we start to get depressed about what may have happened. And we're not thinking about the future, which is where we can get quite anxious and stress about what's before us. It just keeps us in the present moment, and that's where we want to be. That is the place where all change can take place. So that's one tool. Finding something that works for you exercise-wise. For me, it was yoga. For you, it might be swimming, cycling, walking, surfing, the list goes on. So finding your exercise that works for you. We all know the benefits of exercise and healthy living, yeah? Diet can play a part. I'm not obsessive on diet. I just try to eat healthy, balanced, and in moderation. I'll leave it at that. Diet's totally a personal thing. What else? I go to Fluoro Friday, a little group that I join by One Wave. You can Google One Wave. You'll find that it's at a beach all around Australia and has actually expanded to outside of Australia. And we sit in a little circle and we chat about things that have happened during the week, the things that we might label as good or bad, coming to a place of accepting of what they are, and just talking to other people can be really beneficial. You can also then go for a swim or a surf, or just continue chatting with a cuppa. Other methods, as I mentioned, reading lots and lots of books. There's awesome books out there, whether it's Thinking Like a Buddha or any other self-help book, yogic philosophy, your Tony Robbins types books, any of those sorts of books I find really beneficial. What else? Yeah, I guess getting onto that point of books and things, I remember hearing a saying, we are all doing the best that we can from the knowledge that we have. Back then, perhaps my knowledge was a little bit more limited, and so they were only my only resources. The good old Aussie, have a drink, you'll be right, mate. So expanding your resources, your knowledge base, your circle of friends, that can all benefit your mental health as well. Instead of reaching for a nasty habit, whether that's alcohol, it could be something else. There's lots of things that we do that aren't great habits. Instead of reaching them, doing the healthier habit. Another one could be rising early, trying to meet the sunrise, whether it's to do your sun salutations, a quiet, meditate on the beach, meditation, surf, a swim, a run, boxing, you name it. Getting up that little bit earlier can also be beneficial. Sankalpas are good. Sankalpas are where we set an intention for some goals we might want to achieve. And the Sankalpa is a little bit looser than your normal kind of resolution or strict goal. there's room there if we can't do it in a month, a year, whatever it is we've chosen. It's a little bit more healthy. That's probably about all. Yeah, seek out help. Sometimes that help could be a specialist, as in your GP, a counsellor, a psychologist, a psychiatrist. It could be medication. I spent 18 months after that period of my marriage breakdown on antidepressants. They got me through for a period of time there when I was in total despair. So just doing whatever works for you is really important. So I think I'll finish it up there. Any questions, please feel free to contact me, whether maybe Messenger or something like that. Enjoy your day.